Dear friends of the Tom Photo channel and dear new viewers, I'd like to review a nice Nikon prime lens, Nikkor 50mm f1.8D. I've made a video on its newer version, the f1.8G. Please see the link below. But now I'm looking at the older cousin. Actually, cousin is not a good word because these lenses are more different than you might think. The lens came out in 2002 and has been liked or even loved by Nikon users ever since. It's kinda small, 6.4 centimeters in diameter and 3.9 centimeters long. It weighs a mere 155 grams. It features 7 diaphragm blades, 50mm focal length, f-stop range of 1.8 to 22. The closest focusing distance is 45 centimeters. Filter size is 52 millimeters. It's one of those lenses that feels smooth to the touch, not much texture. The markings are so smooth, you may wonder if they are painted on the lens or just a different color plastic. What's nice is that it has a dedicated aperture ring, so you don't necessarily have to control the f-stop via camera body. There is a small slider button next to the aperture ring to optionally lock it at f22. f22 is what you need to select if you want to control the aperture from the body. The ring itself clicks between aperture values. I have to admit that it makes somewhat grinding noise when turned, and that sounds a bit suspicious to me. It's certainly not buttery, if you know what I mean. The focusing ring is nice, but at least on my copy it sticks a little. It means that when you start turning it, it first feels stuck and then jumps a bit as you increase pressure. It turns smoothly only when turned fast, but you don't turn fast when you fine-tune your focus. So manual focusing may take several tries in both directions, and this does not impress me. It might be just my copy though, and maybe it's too new. Maybe it'll get smoother with time. I think that's what's gonna happen. Compared to my other Nikkor lenses, its build quality is a bit more plastic. It's not wobbly or anything, but it's in line with the price tag. However, what matters is what the lens can do, and how long it will last in the process. The lens does not have a motor, and autofocus relies entirely on the motor in the camera body. The lens will work equally well with full-frame or crop sensor Nikon cameras, but for autofocus it needs to have a motor in the body. And on a crop sensor camera, you have to multiply the effective focal length by the crop factor. So on my Nikon 3500, for example, it becomes a 75mm lens. Autofocus is adequately fast. Perhaps what's a bit unusual is the somewhat loud noise the lens makes when focusing. But if you don't photograph a quiet social event or an animal, then that will be no problem. I captured the sample images with Nikon 610. Expect a review of that camera from me soon. Since this is a full-frame lens, it can handle what a full-frame camera throws at it. And it does this with dignity, good contrast, sharpness, and detail. The distortion is nothing to complain about. I've been very happy with the images I've seen out of this lens. I cannot see why a regular user would not like what this lens can deliver. I like it for sure. Too bad that neither my camera nor the lens has image stabilization though. Now let's determine the sweet spot of this lens. I do it by photographing a painting as I detail in my lens sharpness video. The link is below. The camera is Nikon 610 and I'm about 120 centimeters from the painting when capturing images for the experiment. I find photo sharpness by using a Python script. Please see the corresponding link below. This is what the f-stop versus sharpness graph reveals to us. Wide open, the lens is not too sharp, but should be quite okay at 2.8 and above. A range between 4.5 and 9 is essentially a plateau and a great range for sharpest results. The lens sweet spot is around 6.3, and the sharpness drops quickly at f-stop 10 and beyond. F-stop 16 appears as the last value you'll realistically want to consider using. To summarize, I'd say the lens is a nice addition to your Nikon camera that houses a motor in the body. The lens is not expensive to buy second-hand, and this further adds to its relative value. I like its image quality, small size, and the fact that it has an aperture ring. The build quality is quite okay too. Thanks so much for spending some of your valuable time with me. If you liked my video, I invite you to subscribe to my channel or leave a like. I hope to see you again in my future and past videos. Goodbye.